Everyone knows the same story. If you want a car that lasts forever, you buy a Toyota or a Honda. That's the advice every uncle, neighbor, and internet forum repeats. And sure, those brands earn their reputation. But what if I told you the real secret to getting a car that runs forever isn't chasing the overpriced favorites everyone else is fighting for? The truth is, while buyers are paying a premium for the safe choices, there's an entire world of overlooked vehicles, machines engineered with the same legendary reliability, that sit quietly on dealer lots for a fraction of the price. They don't trend on TikTok, they don't dominate Craigslist searches, and most people scroll right past them without realizing what they're missing. These are the forgotten heroes of the used car market. Cars that share DNA with icons, that rack up 200,000 miles or more without drama, and that outlast flashier competitors, simply because they were built right the first time. But here's the kicker, nobody talks about them, and that's why smart buyers can scoop them up for pennies on the dollar. From quirky crossovers with unbreakable drivetrains to luxury sedans that secretly rival the Germans, this list is about to show you 12 hidden gems you've probably ignored. But once you hear about them, you'll never look at the used car market the same way again. Number 12, the Toyota Venza. The Toyota Venza was always a bit of an oddball. Too tall to be called a wagon, too low to be considered a full SUV, and too practical to be labeled stylish. That awkward identity meant buyers often walked right past it in showrooms, unsure of what box to put it in. But that's exactly why it's a hidden gem today, because behind the slightly unusual shape is a vehicle built on Toyota's rock-solid Camry platform, the same bulletproof engineering that made the Camry famous for crossing 300,000 miles with basic maintenance. The Venza didn't try to be flashy, it tried to be useful, and in the process, Toyota accidentally created one of the most dependable family haulers you can buy used. Pop the hood, and you'll find either a 2.7-liter four-cylinder or the legendary 3.5-liter V6. That V6, in particular, is known for being virtually unbreakable, smooth, powerful, and still running strong in countless Toyotas around the world. Pair it with a traditional 6-speed automatic and optional all-wheel drive, and you've got a drivetrain designed for durability, not gimmicks. No fragile CVT, no overcomplicated turbo systems, just tried and true Toyota engineering. Inside, it's the same story. Simple controls that still work after a decade, durable materials that shrug off wear and tear, and a cabin big enough to make long trips comfortable without feeling bulky in city driving. And here's the best part, the price. Because the Venza was discontinued in 2015 and never built up much of a reputation, clean examples often sell for thousands less than a Highlander or RAV4 with the same mileage. You're essentially buying Camry reliability in a more versatile body, but without the Toyota tax. For the smart used car buyer, that means more car for less money and fewer headaches down the road. The Venza may not win beauty contests, but if you want a practical, comfortable vehicle that just keeps going, this overlooked crossover wagon hybrid is a quiet champion. And if you think this one's surprising, wait until you hear about the next car, a forgotten pioneer that combined electric innovation with bulletproof reliability. Number 11, Chevrolet Volt. When most people think of hybrids or electric cars, they immediately worry about one thing: battery life. Stories of expensive replacements scare off buyers, leaving cars like the Chevrolet Volt collecting dust on used car lots. But here's the secret. The second-generation Volt, launched in 2016, quietly solved most of those problems, while delivering one of the smartest powertrains ever put into a car. With 53 miles of all-electric range, it handles most daily commutes without using a drop of gas. And when the battery runs low, the gas engine seamlessly takes over. No range anxiety, no towing nightmare. It was the best of both worlds. And yet, because it wore a Chevy badge instead of Toyota or Tesla, it slipped under the radar. Reliability is where the Volt surprises even more. Electric motors don't suffer from the wear and tear of traditional engines, and the gas engine in the Volt runs less often, meaning less stress overall. Owners regularly report their batteries holding strong past 100,000 miles with minimal degradation, a rare feat in the EV world. Inside, the second-gen Volt feels far more upscale than its predecessor, with quieter operation, a refined ride, and modern tech like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In fact, the Volt drives more like a premium sedan than a bargain hybrid, with smooth acceleration from instant electric torque and suspension tuning that makes highway driving effortless. And then there's the value. When new, the Volt cost over $40,000. But today, you can find clean examples around $12,000 to $15,000, sometimes even less. That's a fraction of what a used Prius or Tesla commands. Despite the Volt offering better daily practicality, for many drivers, it's efficient, surprisingly fun, and far more reliable than most people assume. Yet, because Chevy discontinued it in 2019, demand stayed low, and prices never spiked. For buyers who want cutting-edge efficiency without the risks of a full EV, the Volt is a forgotten masterpiece. And if you thought this hybrid pioneer was a bargain, just wait. The next car on our list proves that sometimes even an extinct brand can hide a vehicle worth a second look. Number 10. Saturn Vue. When you hear the name Saturn, chances are you think of cheap plastic panels and a brand that vanished more than a decade ago. Most buyers today won't even consider one, which is exactly why the 2008 Saturn Vue is such an underrated bargain. This wasn't the flimsy Saturn of the 90s. By 2008, the Vue was redesigned on a European platform, shared with the Opel Anthera. That meant tighter handling, stronger build quality, and a level of refinement that most American crossovers at the time couldn't match. It looked ordinary, but drive it, and you'd instantly feel the difference. The real kicker is under the hood. While the base engines were fine, the hidden gem lies in the Vue XR models, which were powered by a Honda-sourced 3.5-liter V6. Yes, you heard that right. A Honda engine is Saturn. That partnership delivered smooth power, bulletproof reliability, and a drivetrain capable of easily crossing 200,000 miles with regular care. Combine that with a comfortable interior, a European-tuned suspension, and available all-wheel drive, and you suddenly have a crossover that feels far more upscale than its badge suggests. It's the kind of car that can still hold its own on today's roads, even though most buyers don't realize it exists. And here's where things get interesting. Saturn's collapse in 2010 destroyed the brand's resale value. That means clean Vues can often be found for under $5,000, sometimes half the cost of comparable Hondas or Toyotas with the same mileage. You're basically getting European refinement and Honda reliability wrapped in a badge nobody pays attention to. For budget-conscious buyers, that's a huge advantage. The Vue might wear a forgotten nameplate, but for those in the know, it's one of the sharpest used crossover deals out there. And if you thought Saturn hiding Honda power was surprising, wait until you see the next car on our list, because this one proves reliability can also be fun. Number 9. Mazda 6. If most sedans are built to be boring, the Mazda 6 was built to prove a point that reliability doesn't have to come at the expense of fun. The 2013 model, the final year of the second generation, is a car that too many people overlooked because Toyota and Honda dominated the conversation. But here's what most shoppers missed. This sedan combined the same long-term dependability you'd expect from its rivals with a driving experience that was actually engaging. In fact, many owners describe it as the driver's choice in a sea of bland midsize cars. At its heart is a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine producing 170 horsepower, paired with either a 5-speed automatic or, for enthusiasts, a 6-speed manual. While those numbers don't sound groundbreaking, the magic is in how the car feels. Mazda tuned the chassis with precision. Steering is sharp. The suspension strikes the perfect balance between comfort and control, and the car feels alive in your hands in a way that few sedans in this price range ever do. And the best part, it does all of this without sacrificing durability. This naturally aspirated engine is simple, proven, and known to go well past 200,000 miles with basic upkeep. No turbos, no complicated electronics, just straightforward engineering done right. Inside, the Mazda 6 also punches above its weight. Supportive seats, intuitive controls, and excellent visibility make it practical for everyday driving, while the cabin quality has aged better than many of its competitors. But the real kicker is price, because it doesn't carry the Toyota or Honda name. Clean examples of the 2013 Mazda 6 often sell for under $8,000, thousands less than a comparable Camry or Accord. For buyers willing to look past brand popularity, this sedan offers the rare combination of fun, reliability, and value. And if a mid-size family car can deliver this much excitement, just wait until you hear about the next entry, a forgotten luxury sedan that was once designed to rival BMW itself. Number 8. Lincoln LS. When most people think of Lincoln, they picture oversized luxury barges, built for slow, comfortable cruising. But buried in Lincoln's history is a car that broke that stereotype completely. the LS, produced between 2000 and 2006, and especially refined in its final years. The Lincoln LS was Ford's attempt to create a true European-style sports sedan. And here's the twist. It wasn't just marketing hype. Underneath the badge was a platform shared with the Jaguar S-Type, complete with rear-wheel drive, sophisticated suspension tuning, and even an available V8. In other words, Lincoln secretly built a car to compete with BMW's 5 Series. Most people just didn't realize it. The 3.9-liter V8 was the highlight, delivering smooth power and a surprisingly refined driving feel. Paired with a 5-speed automatic, it offered strong acceleration while maintaining the composed handling you'd expect from a European luxury sedan. Even the V6 models were solid, but the V8 LS is where the car truly shines. Unlike the floaty ride of traditional American luxury cars, the LS had sharp steering, balanced weight distribution, and a chassis that actually encouraged spirited driving. Step inside, and you'll find genuine leather, real wood trim, and a cabin that, while understated, has aged far better than many competitors from the early 2000s. It wasn't flashy, it was quietly sophisticated. And here's where the hidden value comes in. Because the LS carried a Lincoln badge, it never attracted the prestige-seeking buyers who flocked to BMW or Mercedes. That lack of status appeal crushed its resale value. Today, you can find well-kept examples for as little as $4,000 to $6,000, an insane bargain for a rear-wheel drive luxury sedan with Jaguar engineering and V8 performance, properly maintained. These cars have proven far more durable than their reputation suggests. The Lincoln LS is proof that sometimes a forgotten nameplate hides engineering far beyond what people expect. And if you thought an American luxury sedan could never be exciting, the next car on our list flips the script again. This time with a quirky, box-shaped Toyota that hides a secret every used car buyer should know. Number 7. Scion XB. At first glance, the Scion XB looks almost comical. Just a big, boxy rectangle on wheels. Most shoppers dismissed it as odd or too quirky, and when Toyota shut down the Scion brand in 2016, the XB disappeared without much fanfare. But here's the catch. That quirky little box hides one of the most practical and reliable vehicles Toyota has ever made, and today it's one of the smartest used car buys you can find. The magic of the XB is in its shape. That squared-off roofline and tall cabin create a cavernous interior that feels much larger than the car's compact footprint suggests. Rear passengers enjoy legroom that rivals midsize sedans, and when you fold down the back seats, the XB turns into a mini cargo van with a flat-load floor and nearly vertical walls that maximize every inch of space. Need to haul furniture, bikes, or just an endless stream of grocery bags? The XB swallows it all while still being small enough to park easily in crowded cities. Under the hood is Toyota's tried-and-true 2.4-liter four-cylinder, the same engine used in millions of Camrys and RAV4S. It's not fast, but it's nearly indestructible, often running well past 200,000 miles with nothing more than basic maintenance. The 4-speed automatic transmission may seem outdated, but its simplicity is actually a blessing. No fragile CVT, no complicated dual clutch systems, just a tough, reliable gearbox that gets the job done. Inside, the materials may not scream luxury, but they're durable, easy to clean, and designed to last. And here's the kicker, because Scion is a dead brand, most buyers don't even consider these cars, which means prices stay low. You can pick up a clean 2015 XB for around $7,000 to $8,000, thousands less than a comparable Toyota badge vehicle, even though the reliability is identical. For families, city dwellers, or anyone who values practicality, the XB is the definition of an underrated gem. It proves that sometimes the strangest looking cars turn out to be the smartest buys. And if a quirky box can deliver this much value, the next car on our list will shock you even more. It's a Buick that doesn't just offer comfort, but true sports sedan performance. Number 6. Buick Regal GS. When you hear the word Buick, performance probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. Most people imagine soft-riding sedans built for comfort, not cornering. But that's exactly why the Regal GS is one of the most surprising hidden gems in the used market. Born out of Buick's partnership with its European sibling Opel, the Regal GS is essentially the American version of the Opel Insignia, a car designed for Germany's autobahns and twisty backroads. That European DNA gave the Regal GS something most Buicks never had: true sports sedan credentials. Under the hood, The Regal GS packs a turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder, producing up to 270 horsepower in earlier models, putting it in direct competition with entry-level BMWs and Audis of the same era. But here's the difference. While those German sedans came with sky-high repair bills, the Buick delivers its performance with far fewer headaches. Equipped with Brembo brakes, sport-tuned suspension, and a clever, hyper-strut front setup that nearly eliminates torque steer, the Regal GS feels planted and confident in ways you'd never expect from a Buick. It's quick, responsive, and genuinely fun to drive, proof that the brand could do much more than build cushy cruisers. Step inside, and the surprises keep coming. Supportive sport seats, high-quality materials, and a driver-focused cockpit make the GS feel more premium than its badge suggests. Add in modern features like navigation, premium audio, and smartphone connectivity, and suddenly you've got a car that feels contemporary even years later. And the best part? Value. Because Buick never shook its grandpa car image, the Regal GS never got the respect it deserved in the US. Today, you can find clean examples around $9,000 to $11,000, half or even a third of what a comparable European sports sedan would cost, all while avoiding the expensive maintenance nightmares those brands are known for. The Regal GS is proof that sometimes the badge on the grille blinds people from what the car really is. This is a serious driver's car hiding in plain sight, one that rewards buyers who look past reputation. And if you think a Buick masquerading as a sports sedan is shocking, just wait until you see the next entry. It's a Pontiac that's secretly a Toyota in disguise. Number 5. Pontiac Vibe. At first glance, the Pontiac Vibe looks like just another forgotten hatchback from a brand that doesn't even exist anymore. Most people walk right past it at used car lots without a second thought. But here's the twist. The Vibe is really a Toyota in disguise. Built as part of a joint venture between General Motors and Toyota, the Vibe shared its platform, engines, and most of its major components with the Toyota Matrix. That means beneath the Pontiac badge is the same legendary Toyota reliability buyers are paying thousands more for, just wrapped in a package most people ignore. The base Vibe came with Toyota's bulletproof 1.8-liter four-cylinder, the same engine that powered countless Corollas. Higher trims got the larger 2.4-liter engine, borrowed straight from the Camry and RAV4, offering more punch without sacrificing durability. Transmission options were just as simple and reliable, with either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, both proven to last. Inside, the Vibe was built for practicality. Upright seating for great visibility, a surprisingly roomy cabin, and a cargo area with full flat seats and durable plastic panels designed to handle real-world use. It was basically a Corolla hatchback under another name, but with even more utility. And here's where things get interesting. Because Pontiac went out of business in 2010, resale values for the Vibe collapsed. Buyers still line up for Toyota Matrixes from the same years, often paying several $1,000s more for what is, mechanically, the exact same car. But informed buyers know that a clean Pontiac Vibe offers the same bulletproof reliability at a discount, sometimes as low as $4,000 to $6,000 for a well-maintained example. That's one of the best bargains in the entire used market, and a perfect example of how badge perception can blind buyers to the truth. The Vibe proves that sometimes the smartest play is to buy the car everyone else has forgotten. And if a rebadged Toyota can hide in plain sight like this, just wait until you see the next vehicle on our list. A full-size luxury sedan that went toe-to-toe with Lexus and BMW, yet now sells for pennies on the dollar. Number 4. Hyundai Genesis. When you think luxury sedan, names like Lexus, BMW, or Mercedes usually come to mind. Very few buyers would ever put Hyundai on that list. But in the mid-2010s, Hyundai shocked the industry with the Genesis, a car that didn't just try to be a luxury sedan. It was one built on a proper rear-wheel drive platform, engineered with the kind of refinement normally reserved for European brands, and packed with features that rivaled cars, costing twice as much. The Genesis was Hyundai's declaration that it could compete with the best. And while critics praised it, the average buyer never quite bought into the idea. Meaning today, these cars are some of the most undervalued luxury sedans on the market. The most balanced choice is the 3.8-liter V6, producing a healthy 333 horsepower through an 8-speed automatic. Smooth, reliable, and capable of effortless highway cruising, it delivers the kind of confidence you'd expect from a $50,000 car, without the mechanical headaches that plague many European rivals. Step up to the 5.0-liter V8, and you're looking at serious muscle. But even the V6 models are more than enough for most drivers. Inside, the Genesis doesn't cut corners. Real leather, genuine wood trim, heated and ventilated seats, a premium audio system, and advanced driver assist tech that still feels modern today. And thanks to extensive sound insulation and a finely tuned suspension, the Genesis glides down the road with the kind of quiet, composed ride you'd expect from a flagship luxury sedan. Here's the kicker: because it wears a Hyundai badge, resale values plummeted compared to its rivals. Clean 2014 to 2016 Genesis sedans can be found for as little as $8,000 to $10,000, sometimes half the price of a Lexus GS or BMW 5 Series with similar mileage. And while those European models often become money pits after 100,000 miles, the Genesis has proven remarkably reliable, with maintenance costs closer to a Sonata than a Mercedes. It's the rare luxury car that lets you enjoy comfort, performance, and refinement without draining your wallet. The Hyundai Genesis is proof that sometimes the badge means less than the engineering behind it. And if a Hyundai can deliver true luxury on a budget, just wait until you hear about the next car, a quirky Honda creation so versatile and long-lasting that it still has a cult following years after it was discontinued. Number 3. Honda Element. Some cars don't just fill a niche, they create their own. The Honda Element was one of those rare vehicles. At first, people weren't sure what to make of it. A boxy little SUV with clamshell doors, rubber flooring, and an interior you could literally hose down. But while critics scratched their heads, owners fell in love. And years later, the Element has become one of Honda's most beloved creations, with a reputation for versatility and reliability that almost nothing on the road today can match. The heart of the Element is Honda's legendary 2.4-liter K24 four-cylinder engine, an absolute workhorse that regularly runs well past 300,000 miles with basic maintenance. Paired with a simple 5-speed automatic or a manual in earlier versions, it delivers enough power for daily driving while being virtually bulletproof. Available all-wheel drive gave it the capability to handle snow, dirt roads, and weekend adventures, while still returning respectable fuel economy for its shape. But it's the interior that made the Element truly special. Those wide-opening doors, full-flat rear seats, and washable, rubberized flooring turned it into the ultimate adventure vehicle. Camping, biking, hauling dogs, moving furniture, whatever your lifestyle, the Element adapted without breaking a sweat. What makes it even more appealing today is how rare it has become. Honda discontinued the Element in 2011, and supply has only shrunk since then. Yet demand remains sky-high because there's simply nothing else like it on the market. Clean, low-mileage examples often fetch close to $10,000, even more in some cases, despite being over a decade old, and buyers happily pay it, knowing they're getting one of the most practical, reliable, and unique SUVs ever built. The Element proves that sometimes the weird cars end up being the smartest because they were designed for real life, not just showroom appeal. And if you think a quirky, boxy Honda can command that much respect, the next car on our list will surprise you for a completely different reason. An old-school Buick sedan that drives like a tank and simply refuses to die. Number 2. Buick LeSabre. If there's one car that embodies old-school American durability, it's the Buick LeSabre. By 2005, this full-size sedan was nearing the end of its run, and most people saw it as nothing more than a grandparent's car. Big, soft, and outdated. But underneath the plain looks was one of the most dependable drivetrains General Motors ever produced, turning the LeSabre into one of the best-kept secrets in the used car market. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't trendy, but it was built to last. The secret weapon of the LeSabre is its 3.8-liter Series 3 V6 engine. This power plant is legendary among mechanics for its bulletproof design, often running 300,000 miles or more with minimal issues. It delivered 205 horsepower and a healthy dose of torque, enough to move the big sedan with ease while returning surprisingly good fuel economy, often close to 30 miles per gallon on the highway. Paired with a simple 4-speed automatic transmission, the LeSabre's drivetrain avoided the complexity that plagues modern cars. Fewer moving parts meant fewer things to go wrong, and decades later, these cars are still outlasting many of their flashier rivals. Step inside, and you immediately understand what Buick was going for. Comfort above all else. Wide, supportive bench seats, a whisper-quiet cabin, and a suspension tuned to soak up bumps made the LeSabre feel like you were gliding down the road. It wasn't built for sharp handling or aggressive driving, but for stress-free, long-distance cruising. There are few cars that did it better. Add in a massive trunk and seating for up to 6 passengers, and the LeSabre quietly checked every box for practicality. But the real kicker is the price, because it lacks the prestige of European badges and the hype of Japanese brands. Clean LeSabres often sell for under $5,000. That's shockingly cheap for a car this comfortable, this reliable, and this proven over decades. The Buick LeSabre is living proof that sometimes the most boring-looking car on the lot is the one that keeps running when everything else has fallen apart. And if an old-school Buick can deliver that kind of value, just wait until you hear about the #1 car on our list, a humble Subaru sedan that hides all-weather capability and long-term reliability in one affordable package. Number 1. Subaru Legacy. Topping our list is a car that's been hiding in plain sight for years, the 4th-generation Subaru Legacy. While most buyers chasing Subarus gravitate toward the Outback or Forester, the Legacy sedan quietly delivers everything that makes the brand famous: reliability, all-weather confidence, and longevity, without the inflated price tags. Between 2007 and 2009, Subaru perfected this formula, creating a mid-size sedan that could do it all, and yet remains one of the most underrated bargains in today's used market. The star of the show is Subaru's signature symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Unlike the part-time setups in many crossovers, this system is always engaged, automatically distributing power where it's needed. The result? Rock-solid traction in snow, rain, or on twisty mountain roads, all without the driver having to think about it. Under the hood sits Subaru's 2.5-liter Boxer 4-cylinder engine, known for its smooth power delivery and low center of gravity. While not a powerhouse, it gives the Legacy excellent balance and handling, traits you won't usually find in an everyday mid-size sedan. And with proper care, these engines and drivetrains routinely last well into the 200,000-mile range. Inside, the Legacy is simple but durable. Comfortable seats, clear controls, and quality materials that age gracefully make it a practical daily driver. Visibility is excellent, the ride is composed, and the cabin feels more refined than its modest image suggests. Yes, Subarus from this era had a reputation for head gasket issues, but by the 2007 to 2009 model years, the problem was much improved, and many examples on the market today have already had the repair done. For buyers willing to budget for that preventative maintenance, the payoff is a car that can last for decades. And here's the best part. Because it's not an Outback or the Legacy flies under the radar. Clean examples often sell between $4,000 and $6,000, an unbelievable value for a sedan with standard all-wheel drive and Subaru's long-standing durability. In regions with harsh winters, it's practically a secret weapon, offering security and capability at a price point that's hard to beat. The Legacy proves that you don't need to chase SUVs or overpriced imports to get year-round dependability. Sometimes, the smartest buy is the car nobody else is talking about. So there you have it, 12 underrated cars that prove you don't need to follow the herd to drive something reliable, practical, and built to last, while everyone else is overpaying for the same Camrys, Civics, and CR Versas. The real deals are hiding in plain sight. These are the cars that quietly rack up 200,000 miles without fanfare, the ones built with proven engineering but forgotten because of a badge, a body shape, or simply bad marketing. And that's the lesson here. Smart buyers don't just ask what's popular, they ask what's overlooked. The Toyota Venza, the Honda Element, even the Buick LeSabre, they may not have the hype, but they have the substance. They're the cars that make you feel like you outsmarted the market, because you got all the reliability without paying the name brand tax. The next time you're scrolling through listings or walking a used car lot, don't just look where everyone else is looking. Think about the cars hiding just outside the spotlight, because sometimes the best choice isn't the one that shouts the loudest, it's the one that's been quietly proving itself all along.